said actually it was her car. See, my memory was not perfect. I remember my uncle
Right.
driving, which he was. But yeah, it was her car. She was here.
Nice. Yeah, it's always good to get a little bit of feedback from the nearest and dearest, and especially when you've been so, raw, real, and honest and authentic with your writing. And I really appreciate that you both did that, and it's not easy to do. Uh, what were some of the challenges that you faced on that journey, Diane?
Um, to stay in the limit, of the words, that was pretty because you have so much to say, right? So that was a bit of a challenge. I had to cut it down and also to decide what I was going to talk about in the chapter. And then I must say it was quite healing for me, like to think back on all these quite emotional parts of my life. It was cathartic. Yeah. Not really a
Yeah, I could.
challenge per se in that sense.
Right. I really appreciate the vulnerability in allowing us readers into your world and what that's like, and everyone I feel can relate to it on some level. The passing of a loved one, expectations of parents, and feeling like you have to live up to that expectation, and the birthing process, and the whole part of claiming your sovereignty as a goddess, as a woman, and your rights to have the birth that you wanted to have, and how you really had to fight for your rights to have the birth that you wanted. And I really appreciated the courage that it took to stand your ground with that, and like, this is what I'm entitled to. This is what I envisaged, and getting that in the end, to an extent.
Yeah. Like this
Yeah.
is something I'm really quite passionate about because I hear a lot of women who have been who haven't had the birth that they dreamed of or that they kind of expected. And once it's done, it's done. There's no coming back. And you can do some healing work, obviously. You can have a different birth if you have another child, but I want all women like to be educated about actually how it can be, how much power they can have, how much decision power. Because otherwise, like if you just go with what is offered to you or what is told by the medical team, and often you're very vulnerable when you're giving birth, or you're you're such a mess, you're so emotional. It's a really unique experience, and you if you're not prepared, you're not going to stand your ground. You're just going to go with it, and especially when you're like, I'm done with this, like just give me anything. You really need to be prepared, and also to have people on your side to remind you what you truly want, and help you, because I was also ready to like give me anything. I want this baby out. And when my doula came for the birth of my twins, and she helped me regulate my nervous system, and she held my hand. It was very powerful, and she was essential in me being able to have this birth, my dream birth. Yeah.
Yeah, it was special to read that, and I've published a number of stories, chapters from birth doulas, and them explaining the process, and then also taking the placenta and encapsulating the placenta to energize the mother after the
Right.
birth, and
Yeah.
and twins. I mean, I can imagine that. I mean, my mum had three kids, and yeah, but two at once. I mean, what a challenge, and also a miraculous gift at the same
Mm.
time, I imagine.
Well, absolutely. I must tell you that once my first baby was out, and I was already like, I was exhausted, and the doctor was like, okay, come on now, you push again. I really wanted to rip his head off, but I had to. Yeah, it was just the beginning of pushing myself further to
Right.
limits I didn't know. But yeah, definitely a blessing. All of
Yeah,
my time.
yeah. What a just a miraculous gift to be able to give to yourself and to the world. And yeah, I mean, as a man, it's just I'm just in awe of women and the whole birthing process and what you're able to do. And yeah, it's just extraordinary, just such a miraculous thing to yeah to be able to witness. And I'm sure that your hubby was there supporting you along the way. And
He was, right.
yeah,
Yes, yes, like he was. I've heard this from him and other men, like you say, in awe of what we do, and it's just we have to do it, and it is our gift as well as women to be able to channel life and birth life. Mm.
extraordinary. And thank you for sharing that with us. And I know Alexis also went really vulnerable in his chapter. And how was that process for you, Alexis?
Well, it was it wasn't what I was expecting, and like I said before, I wasn't looking for this. It found me at the perfect time because I was already going through the embodiment of this journey of self realization, and this really allowed me to dig deeper within myself to really reflect on who I am truly because authenticity again like I didn't really know what it was because the world tells you you need to be this, you need to be that, you need to do this. So there's for me authenticity. There's not a right or wrong way. It's whatever suits you, whatever fits you at your level of consciousness that you're going through. But for me, it was the self realization the self realization of who I am and why I'm here, and going through the process of rewriting and everything that I went through last year allowed me to speak about things that I never thought I'd be able to speak out loud, especially in a book, like something that I would just talk to my close friends or family. So really, when I say it allowed me to dig deeper, it was allowing to let go of that illusion of fear that was still stuck within me that I didn't even realize. So putting myself out there on something that's public for everyone to see, it was a way for me to let go of that little last fear of illusion. But as far as authenticity goes, for me, it's a ever evolving journey that I know that I'm never going to stop, not because I want to or I have to keep going, but it's eh, eh, you know this life, things just happen out of nowhere, whether that's good or bad, and we have to learn how to live with everything. So it's a learning wisdom and adapting to everything in different ways. And like Neville Goddard says, it's not about life happening to me. It's about realizing that life is being projected through me. So this opportunity really allowed me to reflect on that and really embody that. But overall, it was exciting because I'm excited to like continue writing and pursuing this, not for any other reason but the fact that I get to express myself, and it brings me peace, joy, and satisfaction. And I remember Bob Proctor once said, this is one thing that I struggle with. I used to want to work really hard to make a lot of money. And then whenever he said, Bob Proctor said in one of his seminars, Born Rich, he says, don't work for money, work for satisfaction, and then the money will follow. I I was scared to really live that because satisfaction doesn't. I never thought it would bring me money, or I never thought any. I don't want to have fun. I need to get to work. So, but allow myself to just be free and live through satisfaction. I don't even think about the money. I'm thinking about the moment, like the peace that it brings me, the joy. So overall, like the thought process that went into writing this and rewriting it over and over allowed me to just really understand more of myself, but at the same time realize that that I understand even less. And I just need to be present and enjoy the moment, no matter what I'm going through. But um, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm grateful to be having this experience with both of you, John and Diane, and every other Zoom call that we've had. It's just it's exciting because I never thought I'd be doing this. So I'm just very grateful to have this opportunity more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to what you were saying about that need, or that I guess I've got to work and it's work and I've got to get it done and I've got to strive and generate an income and have the outer trappings of success. And that didn't work out so well for me. I had a landscaping company and had council contracts and all the rest of it. And learning to shift that mentality was a huge turning point for me. So thank you for sharing that, Alexis. I appreciate that and what you bring, and so much more that you write about in your chapter and the whole journey. Are you able to speak into that at all, Diane? Do you ever feel like you had to really strive into something to prove yourself?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I talk a little bit about this in the chapter where, well, my father had a very strong influence on me, so I kind of unconsciously embraced his values, and I was striving for a certain idea of success, status, and earning, and it's still there, like it's still something that I'm
Sure.
like kind of separating myself from and defining success differently. Mm. Success for me now is more about having, harmonious family, and yes, doing things that are aligned with my values and my integrity. And like you say, I think, and especially like in a culture where, right, profit, success, all this is like the thing that we are supposed, like we are indoctrinated to aim for. Yes, and finding it, it's I'm still I just have to sorry, I can't find the word, but it's like
There's like a
unweave
stickiness
myself.
to it, almost like fly paper, and it pulls you back into that kind of paradigm. Is that what, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that
exactly.
sort of striving and yeah,
Yeah, be
being quick to
productive,
tell,
do,
yeah.
yeah.
But what is productive? Like, it's all irrelevant, right? I mean, the, you know, I asked myself all those questions like the last couple of years. And again, like I said, this came at a perfect time because ever since 2022, something happened within me and I started really changing, not because I wanted to, but the thoughts that I was receiving were completely different. The way I felt, my environment, the people around me, nothing, nothing seemed the same anymore. And I couldn't go back to the way I was, and I didn't know what was going on with me. I thought I was going crazy for a moment. I didn't know how to describe it. But overall, this opportunity to contribute to this book allowed me to like really, say, I don't want to say a cuss word, but screw it, like I'm gonna write my truth. And for me, like everything that I've been going through the last couple of years, it wasn't never to escape this world. I started seeking wisdom, and for me, the greatest teacher was Jesus, and the Hermetic principles as well, because I really wanted to understand the teachings of Jesus and the seven Hermetic principles, because I didn't just want to acquire the wisdom, I wanted to embody it. Like, why am I even here on this earth? Like, how boring to keep doing the same thing over and over, going around the hamster wheel. Who cares how rich I am? It doesn't matter what I accomplish if I don't understand why I came here to do. And really, it wasn't here to do anything but just remember who I am. And so easier said than done. Like, you hear that a lot through the internet and books. Remember who you are. I am this, I am that. But that doesn't do anything. Like, even going to church, I had a problem with saying people, my whole life, you need to get saved and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I understood it on the surface level, but it never really sat well with me because I'm like, how can you just say I'm saved and you're saved? Like, I don't, I still see how you live. Like, nothing's changed. Like, so I question everything my entire life. And it's, it's not about becoming saved. It's about for me, it was like realizing that I'm the only one that's going to save myself. And Jesus, who walked the earth 2,000 years ago, came here to speak this profound truth that still lives on and is ready to be awakened within me. But what am I going to do with that? Like, who cares if I just know it or understand it? Like, I need to live it in my everyday life, no matter what I'm doing. And just, it came down to just, again, being present and being joyful and grateful and appreciative of everything that I have. Uh, and that feeling that came with it, that feeling that I had when I was a little kid of bliss, that feeling that came from time to time throughout my whole life, seeking instant gratification and validation from my outside world. And we all do that. But returning back to myself and realizing that that feeling's always been within me, it, that's everything that was going on through my entire being as I was, writing and trying to understand so I could not not just speak about something or write about something, but I wanted to talk about it with truth. Like when Jesus came into this world, like he came and spoke with truth. I wanted everything that came out of me to be like it's
Right.
truth. It
You
doesn't
wanted to
matter.
share with a whole lot of meaning, and I remember your journey precisely, and we having a second call, if you remember, and just like there was like a moment where you were going in one direction, but a part of you knew that you needed to go in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that process like for you?
Um. So it wasn't I mean, everything that I was writing,
Yeah.
it was all right,
One
but
thing,
like you.
let me just preface, sorry, Alexis, let me just preface. Both of you went really, really deep in your sharing in your chapter. Like there was no holes barred at all. I know Diane went really deep as well, and just laid it out her whole journey and what was really important to her, what shaped her as a person, and kind of like it felt like you both grew into authenticity. Is that kind of what it felt like for you, Alexis, that you sort of grew into your authenticity?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, this whole process allowed me to really like embody everything that I've been reading for the last couple of years and
Yeah.
really live it and express it through my words instead of just talking about it or reading about it. So, and the whole process of changing around, I have so much to say, and I think maybe I just wanted to say it all at once, but it wasn't towards the end where something just happened and the word just started to flow where it left me in a trance. I didn't even realize what I was writing until I started until it was done. And what really stood out to me on that was 3 days after I completed it, my dog Rocky, who I had for 11 years, passed away just suddenly. But although I knew it wasn't suddenly, 4 days prior to that, I had a very vivid dream of his passing. So, in a way, I knew he was going to go. But once he passed, I felt gratitude. I know, I mean, even though I felt all the emotions, I just felt like his mission was completed. And even though, because everything that I was writing, he was always on my lap. So I really felt that he was there to see me through it, to make sure the right words came out of my mouth or out of my heart. And yes, to answer that question in the very long way, I really felt authenticity pour out of me through this book, through this
Yeah.
process.
And if you, I just, it would be great to just hear Diane speaking to that as well, because there's parallels between what you both wrote about, and you shared about your experience with the passing of your sister, Diane. How did that shape you and the wisdom that you gleaned from that experience?
How did that shape me? Mm. Well, so losing her and my dad shortly after,
Yeah.
it just puts things in perspective. You know, what is really important. What is really important is the people I love and being with them and living my life as authentically as possible. So not having regrets and again, it's about what are my values. You know, it shifts things around. I mean, yeah, for me, it was really about the people around me, the people that are important in my life, and what I want to embody. And of course, I was always interested by mediumship, you know, communication with the spirit world. Um, but once I actually had people I really, really missed a lot, that's when I looked for it personally. Yeah, and that shaped my path because even though at some point I wanted to become a shaman, um, but I had never thought about mediumship or developing this more professionally. But it just took me on a path that I hadn't planned. I am still like mediumship is still something that I want to develop more because it gave me so much to be able to communicate directly and through a medium with my loved ones. And it healed something. Like it doesn't grief doesn't go away, but it's different. It's different when when you have evidence of their continued presence and love. You know, it's still like that link isn't broken. And there's a difference between I believe in that and now I have experienced it and like my belief is rock solid. Yeah. It's true. I don't talk about this enough, I think, these days, but it is like I kind of not everyone will be open to it, but I would like all the people who are grieving to know that it's their loved ones haven't disappeared into nothingness and that this love, this connection is still available. You know, I actually death, mediumship, communication with the spirit world is I don't know, it's more than a passion. It's I'm really deeply passionate about it. I want to tell everyone about it. Yeah.
My dad passed away in 23, and I was lucky enough to spend some time with him before he passed. And yeah, he has conversed with me since his passing, and I mean, wherever he is now, whatever you want to label it and call it, it's just completely different to the reality that we experience here. And it was, yeah, to get a sample of that world was something else that kind of just blew my mind in a nice way, but it was just so like an expansive feeling. And then he also communicates me through wildlife. Like there's this species of bird that's really quite shy, but it comes out. And these birds never come out in the open. And I remember Father's Day last year, it came right out in the open and landed on this like small bush shrub right in front of me. And I was just like, just to let me know that he's here, he's around, and it's hard to kind of put into words. I relate to that, but once you have an experience of it, it's just like and that's yeah, it was quite incredible.
It's a lived experience. We feel it, like And of course, it's going to buy. Like, if you talk to someone who doesn't believe and is going to have rational explanation for this, you're not here to convince someone who is already convinced of the contrary. 2 years ago, there was a concert. I don't think I talked about it in the book, but I went to a concert. I've got a friend who's French from Reunion Island as well, and he sang songs by Aznavour. But at the end, he said, "Okay, now I'm going to sing this really iconic song," and I knew it was going to be a certain song by Edith Piaf
Okay.
that my sister loved. And it was, and I knew it was her, and I knew it was her already. Like, and I communicated with him, and he said, you know, I hadn't planned to do this. It was a last minute thing that came to me. I am convinced that she put that idea into his mind. And after that, you know, a friend I knew also passed on a message, and she said something, I can't remember exactly, but about this song. So yeah, it's just,
It's
you're,
amazing. You know,
it's an
you just
experience.
know it, you can feel it. It gives you goosebumps when you experience it. And yeah,
Yeah.
I've had a similar experience when my grandma passed away. And yeah, this song came on from nowhere. I was just meditating and focusing on her energy, and then this car came into the park. The park was really still and quiet, and this car came in with the radio blaring "Hello from the Other Side," and it
Wow.
was just so extraordinary. And it's beautiful to know that they're with us. Our loved ones are with us.
Yeah, there's no separation. It's just a different
Real
frequency, you know, different
reality.
realm. Yeah, different dimension.
Yes. And there's so much to dive deep into that. And Alexis, I know that I was so surprised with a lot of the chapters, and that the authenticity came through some form of adversity. And I know that you shared, Alexis, about coming into United States with your parents, and then finding yourself in jail. What was that experience like?
Well, so it's, that's something that happened when I was 4.5 years old, but I remember it like it was yesterday. For
Wow.
whatever reason, that memory always just, memory experience always lived within me, not as trauma. It was just there. And I could, it's something that I would talk about with close friends when the conversation came about. But I started asking myself in 2022, why is this something that's so memorable to me right now, like it was yesterday? And I don't know the right words to say it, but it's almost like I feel like my soul before it came into this world, it used that experience and memory to like anchor, so that I can when my soul was ready to go back and ask the question, who am I? It was one of the key points that led me to this. And the experience itself, you know, I was happy living in Mexico with my family. I'm very family oriented. One day, my mom and dad, they're like, "Hey, we're leaving. Pack your things." I don't know where we're going, but I just remember. I remember this very vividly when we were saying goodbye to all my dad's side of the family, and my uncle gives me this little metal figure. It looked like it was a warrior. I'm not exactly sure what it was. I could see it very vividly in my mind's eye. Throughout the years, something that I wanted to keep, but I lost it. But he said, play with this when you get bored or when you get sad. It'll remind you of me. And it's always reminded me of him. He passed away in 2012. So I always think of that moment. It's like an anchor, but saying goodbye to my family in that moment, I felt my entire family. I didn't know. I didn't know if I was ever going to see them again, but deep down in my soul, I felt like I would never see them again. So I was heartbroken. And then going through the experience of getting across the border, I remember 7 different times. My dad says we did it 11 different times. Uh, and one of the times, which I thought was the seventh time, happened to be the 11th time, which was whenever we were underneath the bridge. We were hiding from immigration, like in the movies. Like, no joke. I was there with my little brother. He was one. My mom, my dad, and I saw my mom and dad as like grown-ups, but really they were kids at the time. My dad was like 24, and my mom was 19. So I don't know how they had the courage to like leave everything behind. Because I didn't leave my house till I was 28. Uh, so, but going, going through the entire experience. I mean, I remember going through the river, getting wet, everything that you would like read about or see about. I lived it, but The last time when we got caught, we were sitting in the back of a Bronco. The Bronco was green with tan interior, and we were in the back. I was on, I don't, this one, I don't remember. I was in somebody's lap. I don't know if it was my dad's or my mom's, probably my dad's. And I could hear them speaking English. I didn't know what was going on, but I remember the smell. That distinct smell of leather, old leather with sweat. And the words that were coming out of their mouth just sounded like gibberish, but my soul felt uncertainty. And I mean, I'm a kid. I'm 4.5. I just feel very uncertain. But even though it was so long ago, the vivid memories of it are still lingering within me, because I remember when we got to their offices, their jail cells, my brother and I were separated from my mom and dad for an entire day. And in that moment, I felt that same feeling that I had when I was waving goodbye to all my family. The feeling that, oh my God, I may never see my mom and dad again. You know, my heart was just shattered. So I didn't think that, I didn't know what to think. I just thought maybe, again, another goodbye. And somehow we were reunited. My dad said, I didn't know this at the time, but he said, you know, we've wasted all of our resources, all of the money trying to get across. If we don't get across this time, you know, we got to go back. And this was in El Paso. We journeyed all the way from Mexico City. So by the grace of God, we made it through. But I don't remember the last crossing, but I remember finally ending up in this home. And there was, you know, it was the same language that I heard in the Bronco. It was English. I didn't know what was English at the time, but they were talking that foreign language that I couldn't understand. But I understood this that I didn't understand then. I didn't know how to label it, but my intuition knew peace, knew joy, knew love. I could feel the vibration coming out of the words. It felt like home. It felt I could be comfortable here. And even though we didn't know what we were saying to each other, we were playing and laughing because they had kids. Even even the adults were taking care of me. Like my mom and dad would take care of me, feeding us. So I just knew that we were safe. And I had my first American candy there. I don't know what it was called, but it looked like it was the shape of a toothpaste, that kind of shape, and you squeeze it and little red gooey stuff comes out. And when we had to say goodbye to them, I was heartbroken again, because I was saying goodbye, even though it was a short moment that I lived. I was saying goodbye to someone that played a big role in my life, because if it wasn't for that family, I don't know if we would have ever made it here. Like they really showed us the way to the next level of life. So that whole experience, I feel like the reason why it never left me was because it was an anchor that I needed to reflect back onto. As I didn't know, I didn't know it then, but when I asked the question, who am I? Like I really why am I here? Like it's not that I was done with life, but like how boring. I don't want to continue to live the same life like this. Like there's got to be something more than just this. Like there's no way that I have all these infinite thoughts, and where my feelings come from. Like I gotta know this. So that was my journey, and that actually started in 2017. It didn't start to become real to me until 2022, where it wasn't more than just a thought. It was more like,
like an epiphany.
Yes, it just something happened, but through the years, it was just different levels of it. And I really felt like towards the end of 2025 was more like, it's not about reaching a destiny. It's just about I'm already whole and complete just the way that I am inside. And I am really the operant power, and there is nothing outside of me. And what does that even mean to me? It's just like I am literally just pure consciousness. Like Jesus said, I and my Father are one, and my Father lives through me. Well, what does that even mean? Like the Father, it's my state of being, how I feel, like my consciousness of being. So I'm like, I, I'm just excited more than anything to be alive right now, as I am 40 years young, as I was
Yeah.
when I was a little kid, at 4 years old.
Well, I really appreciate that share. I mean, what a journey, and having your first American candy, and the just the uncertainty that you shared, and then the epiphany that there's got to be something more than the day-to-day existence. Diane, did you have an epiphany similar to Alex, like a moment where you just something clicked for you?
I've had several. I'm just trying to pinpoint one. It's been like an unraveling. I mean, because I remember being a teenager and being very rational. Like one of my cousins, actually, when we were teenagers, she started clairvoyance started happening, right? And I was like, nah, that you're crazy. It doesn't. Yeah. So there was definitely a moment between that
Right.
and now, right? Um,
How did you get into tarot? Because I saw you were at a festival somewhere and you're doing tarot. And I know you shared in your chapter, that's been a real valuable part of your life and
yeah,
learning about yourself and the world around you. How
yeah.
did you come about tarot? Was it through your sister?
No, my sister introduced me to numerology, and
Okay.
she had friends who were mediums and psychics, so she would tell me stories, and um, we would play a game sometimes of telepathy. So she
Okay.
would say, okay, between these three colors, I'm thinking about this color. Yeah. So she did, open up my mind to this. But tarot, I mean, I started using cards. I can't remember exactly how, when. I can't remember. I was just, at some point, I was
The
drawn to,
internet is hopefully coming back online.
sorry, yeah, it
But
might
yeah,
have.
we're talking about our experience. Great. Yeah, sorry. Great to have you back, Diane. I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, you were sharing about how you got introduced to tarot, the world of tarot card reading.
Yeah, so look, I can't remember exactly when I started playing with cards, pendulum, and all this, but um, I did a course in tarot with my teacher here who taught me astrology as well. It was because of the connection I felt with her. She's a very inspiring, grounded healer. And when I dive deep with the tarot with her, it was more for mm, my own what I don't want to say self-development, but more like a therapeutic journey, right? Because it's not tarot at a surface level, using it for divination, yeah, but it's deeper than that. It's really at the end of the day, your unconscious talks to you. Your unconscious remembers everything from your life, ancestors, other lives maybe, and you're creating your life, you're creating your destiny. Maybe there is something that was set up before, right? But so it was a journey of healing, understanding my patterns, understanding my unconscious, understanding how to read the cards not only through, it's a system tarot, every card has a specific meaning. You find the similar meanings with different tarot cards, but also, developing the symbolic language. Your unconscious talks to you in your dreams and through images and through all kinds of different things. But yeah, it was a healing journey. It was a healing journey like you would go do therapy. Like she's a psychologist as well, um, this teacher. But it was also a journey of developing these abilities that we all have to communicate with the spirit world, like we said, but also to yeah, decipher. You know, like you were saying that your dad comes through with birds, wildlife. You know, at the end of the day, we're one with the universe. Like God, the universe, spirit can communicate with you through so many any means. And it can even come through anything you can see on TV. Like it can come in many ways. And there's a oh, can't remember the name of the medium, but he's got this acronym. It's RAFT, right? To help people understand this process. Like, okay, you have you're drawn to something, you have a feeling, and that's how you recognize it's not your rational, it's not your left brain that is going to help you with that. It's a feeling, and it's trusting what you get. It's nobody else but you who is the receiver. The message is for you, and it bypasses reason. If you start doubting, if you start thinking, oh, but this is no, I'm interpreting it, that stops the flow.
I
Yeah.
remember having a reading with a tarot, and I was just at it was like a fair, like a festival. It was in Bondi Beach when I was living in Bondi, and the lady told me that one of my family members was going to be like really sick, had like a major health issue. And I completely forgot about it. And then 5 months later, my dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And that
Mm.
illness eventually took his life, some 13 years later. But I was like, I just took it with a grain of salt. That couldn't be real. Like, I think maybe she pulled the wrong card or, something like that. And then lo and behold, my dad gets a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease. So that's been, yeah, a little bit nervous to him. I almost went got another reading, but I just thought, oh no, maybe I jinxed it or something like that. But it's so accurate, and
It is really incredible. Like sometimes I go to these events, fairs, or
yeah,
even in a 5 minute, and especially I love it when people have never had any tarot reading and they might not have expectations, or and it's so accurate, and it's not me. It's just you pull the cards, and there is some kind of
very
mystery happening there.
patient.
Yeah, it's impressive.
It really is. I mean, I told my dad about it, and he was quite closed-minded to that sort of thing until I told him my experience, and he was like, "Wow, okay, that's interesting." And yeah, because I mean, it came true, right? So it had his full attention, and yeah, amazing. I really appreciate the work that you do, and there's just so much into that. And I feel like that even sage teachers like Jesus Christ may have even used tools like that. We don't know. Back in the day, and there was definitely a period in his life where he went missing. It's unaccounted for the first 30 years, and some people there's speculation that he studied under spiritual masters in Egypt. Some say that he went all the way to India and work with sages and spiritual gurus over there. I mean, meditation's been around for a long time, and chakra and energy centers and things like that.
Mm.
Actually, in the Catholic Church, they used to burn incense and chanting. So it's pretty amazing how things are morphed, and I feel like there's just that oneness and connection that you're talking about. That everything really is connected, and we can receive messages in so many different mediums. And I love getting messages from wildlife, and I might see this bird, like a species of bird, 3 times or something, and then I'll do like an
Yeah.
internet search. What does it mean? What's
Yeah.
this species, and what does it mean to see it? And the message that it has is so relevant to what I'm going through. It's uncanny, and
Mm.
yeah. So
Yeah, and the
I've
more
had
you
so many
open
different
your
experiences
mind to
with
it,
that. Yeah.
the more you're open to it, the more you will see it. So I like my kids see me, looking at numbers and all kinds of things. And now my son is even more, he's like, Mom, we were just talking about this, and look, this is, on TV or whatever. Like now they're talking about it. So he sees all these synchronicities even more than I do. So I love that. Love that. Yeah, the more you're open to it, the more you will perceive messages coming through.
Yes, and a friend of mine, she often says she contributed to the series as well. It's Katie Newbaum, and she does tarot readings and things like that as well. And but every time she sees the number 1111, she says something magical's about to happen.
I love it.
I've adapted that as well. That 1111, something magical's about to happen, and magical things start. We're co-creators with this existence, with God, with the universe, with spirit, and yeah, what you say and repeat to yourself. And I see that number at the most like auspicious moments. It's like, and I even take a screenshot. Oh my God, look, as we're having this conversation, it's 1111 or it's 2222. And
Yes,
yeah,
I love this. I mean, to actually even create that
yeah,
for you to expect and to know that when you see that number, this is what it means for you.
yeah,
It's pretty powerful. Yeah.
yeah.
For me, it was 2222 at the very beginning when I started to see those numbers coming and understanding that my spirit guides wanted to be in touch with me and open up to all this, not just stay with a belief that came from books, but
Life
go
experience.
and develop it and learn and experience it. Like look for the experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And yeah, just your deep dive into the wisdom of authenticity and your whole journey and the way that different, even though they were traumatic at the time, that you gleaned something from that, that it was actually a necessary part of your journey, almost like it was destined or designed that way, and that you just got just what you needed to go to the next part of the journey. That's what it felt like when I was reading your chapter, um, and I felt like the same with Alexis as well, that there's just this form of adversity that you went through and it just gave you what you needed. And is that what it felt like for you as you're going through that process, Alexis?
It did. It did. I didn't realize it at the time, but you know, putting thoughts into writing, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. Because I can think and feel all day long, and it was just so much that I wanted to put in there. I mean, pretty much everything you guys just talked about. Like, yeah, that's all not even, I can't even say I believe in God anymore, or I believe that we're all one. It's just like, I know we're all one. And how can I was so excited, I wanted to put it all in one. So it's just like, it was, yeah, it really did allow me to like, really embody that authenticity. So
I found you really found your voice with your chapter, and I know that you kind of wrote two chapters. One was about like manifestation, and then we had a conversation, and then a deeper one emerged, and it was really having to claim your identity, coming across the border, and then becoming a US citizen, and then your name. You're always been Alexis, but then in high school, a
junior
few
high, high
girls.
school.
Right. We're saying, hang on, like that's not a proper name for you, and we're going to call you Alex, and you going along with that. And then what was that journey like to reclaim back that, I'm actually Alexis, and that's what I would like to be called?
It, it it wasn't so much about the name because I still have people that even you earlier said Alex. It doesn't bother me. It was more about knowing who I am
Yeah.
and that nothing outside of me is going to tell me who I am anymore. I know who I am. So it was about reclaiming that power within me, and not in an egotistical way, but just as an inner knowing that, hey, I am who I am. I am an individualized expression of God. And you can call God whatever you want. He's got different names. He's got the universe. He's got Buddha, blah, blah, blah. But it's all just power. It's consciousness. It's not a he or a she. It's me. It's you. It's this computer that I'm on. It's everything. It's just all intertwined as one. And that's why, the manifestation was something that was shown to me in the very beginning when I started asking the question, who am I? That's why I kept leaning towards that, because I'm like, holy shit, everything I think about, I get. Like there wasn't nothing that I could not think about. It just wouldn't show up. And at that time, I didn't know how to, I didn't know how to make sense of it. I thought it was a coincidence. But realizing that I always wanted a Rolex, dreaming of it my entire life. I came from a very poor family. There's no reason why I should have had these thoughts about a Rolex, Ferrari, but then something happens where I get a Rolex basically for free. And what really got me was the second year, whenever I was doing this contract, and I specifically asked for a watch and the one that I always wanted, but he couldn't get it. So we settled on one and he ordered it. But whenever I came to pick it up, even the manager was like, holy shit. And this is a very high-end luxury jewelry store where they don't even sell Rolexes. He had to order it. So when he came out and he was like, holy shit, I don't know what the fuck just happened, yelling in the store. But the one and my heart dropped because I was like, shit, he didn't get the one I wanted. But he was like, the watch that you, and I apologize, I'm just very passionate right now for the cussing, but he was like, the one you actually wanted came in, and he couldn't understand how it came in. He was baffled. He even checked with the jeweler store in Dallas, and they were like, no, we sent the blue one in. And so no one can make sense of it. And in that moment, I just knew something happened. So, but things like that would happen to me a lot. And that's why I'm like, this is where it started for me, to find my authentic self. And it wasn't so much what I was creating as whatever you want to call it, a manifestation or prayer. It's all the same thing. It's just words. It's just like what you think and what you mix with feeling, you attract. When you get a car, I'm sure this happened to you and everyone. You get a car for the next couple of weeks, you see that car everywhere, the same color. And even this example that happens to me a lot, and it's just a small example, but it's the same as everything else. You're looking for your keys. You're in a hurry to go somewhere. You can't find them, but the moment you stop looking, they're in your pocket. They're on the corner. They're right there. And all that was just coming to me at once. I'm like, whatever I want, I push away. But if I don't need it, it comes to me. And it was fun in the beginning, but it was the realization that, yes, my authentic self is the one that's creating everything. It's not even about the creation itself. It's about me, my authentic self, as the one that is, because who am I? I'm not even this body. I'm not even this name. So it wasn't even about my name or my experiences. It's about the infinite spirit within me, that eternal being that's always been here, always will be, and just understanding that truly and being able to write about it. It was more as the being able to write about it publicly is okay. Yeah, the fear is done. No more playing it small. Go out there and just be you. Like, who cares what people think about you? Like, they're all on the same journey as you are, trying to figure it out, to return back to the heart, and to not judge anyone, because of the same way I judge someone, I'm going to be judged with that, because really I'm just judging myself. So really understanding the teachings of Jesus and the Hermetic principles and everything that I was reading, to finally be able to write down and write my story, I didn't realize that was going to unlock the next piece that I was missing within me, to really embody that wisdom that I knew, but to really see it through my own eyes was something that I didn't realize through the process that I needed. So whenever Adam came to me about, hey, I have this friend that I think you should really meet. You have a lot to say, and he might be able to help you out. I was a little hesitant about it, because I'm like, and at the same time, Adam's the one that got me into acting classes, because he was like, man, you have so much to say, but you get a little stuck right here. You need to pray about that. I did. The next day, my friend calls me, hey, I have an opening in my acting class. Would you like to join? I'm like, I almost said no, but I was like, okay.
Then you appeared in a movie. And actually, just to preface for the listeners, that actually Adam is a mutual friend and he's a breathwork facilitator. So I introduced Adam to breathwork. I was actually teaching breathwork at a retreat at St. George, Utah. and Adam was one of the participants. He was really good friends with a mutual friend, and then we went on a road trip together the following year, and we were doing breath work the whole time through it. And now Adam is a breath work teacher, and he recommended that Alexis contribute to the series, and so that's how it kind of came full circle. So yeah, I thought that just needed to share that, and just being aware of time. It's actually now 11:11 here. So,
12:12 here.
right.
Yeah.
10-11 here.
I looked, it was 11:11, then I took a screenshot and it was 11:12. So, well, I'm just mindful. It's been just a little bit over an hour, and just mindful of both your time. I know that you're a busy mum and entrepreneur, and Alexis yourself. And any last words you'd like to leave with the readers about the wisdom of authenticity? Maybe something that you learned or glean, or maybe if someone find themselves stuck in a moment of grief or adversity, any words of wisdom or insights eventually share, or anything that comes to your heart?
Really, there's no right or wrong. So don't judge yourself. Like, no matter what you're going through in life, just accept it for what it is and feel it. And that's where I was able to understand authenticity, because what's authentic to me may not be to you, because we're all on our own journey and our own path customized for our soul. But at the end of the day, just the realization that we are all one. There's no separation between you and I. And really, and this is a quote from Neville Goddard, when in doubt, always do the loving thing and you will be doing the right thing. Because at the end of the day, it's all about love and gratitude, no matter what. That's it. And just to be present. Yeah. It sounds cliche, but it's just to be aware of the moment, because this moment right here, we'll never have it again. We may have other video calls, but not this one. Like, I'm living this right now. I'm alive right now. What happened yesterday is gone. Tomorrow may never come. So this is it. And just be grateful for this. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity, for you, John, for Diane. And Diane, my apologies for your passing. I feel you, and may God always be with you, protect you, and keep you safe, and bless you both with peace, joy, and love.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. A nice share, a nice way to wrap up. And did you have a few last words to share, Diane?
Well, so much to say. You gave us too many ideas, but I'll just go with the grief part. If anyone is going through grief right now, I just want them to know that death is just another destination. Like, there is no disappearance, and there are people who can actually connect you and teach you to connect with your loved ones in spirit. And they love you. They're always here. Like you said, we are one. There is no, there's nowhere else to go. Like, this is it.
Right.
This is it. We're all here.
Yeah.
There's no separation. And one last thing, because in this chapter, I talk about another type of grief, which is who you thought you were and who you're becoming. And that is sometimes difficult, but you know that where you're becoming, like everything, like all the experiences we go through take us to this other level of, it's like shedding what we thought we were and rediscovering like the essence of who we are.
I like that, the essence of who we are. And how can people reach and work with you, Diane, because you're a tarot reader, you've done many different things, but mostly your specialty now is tarot card reading.
And astrology. Yeah, tarot and astrology. Yeah.
Nice.
So, well, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Okay.
Just look for my name, Diane Pierotti, and you'll find me.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing, Diane. And Alexis, how can people reach you if they want you to come and deliver a keynote presentation?
So you can call my 1-800 number. No, I'm just kidding. Alexis, Adrian Godinez. Let me check what it is. I think I'm on Instagram. It's URIM, and the reason it's URIM because that's basically my whole straight to the point. Like URIM. I even have it written on my wall. You know who you are. URIM, and the first lady that came into my life in 2021 out of nowhere. I feel like she's an angel. You know, she said, "You know who you are," and I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "URIM," and I was like, so yes, Alexis
Right, that's
Godinez.
really awesome. Okay, cool. And of course, you can read Diane Pierotti's chapter and Alexis Godinez in The Wisdom of Authenticity, the Journey of Riches series. It's available on Amazon. We'll put the links down below. The ebook is 99 cents. The paperback is $15.50. And the Audible, for those that are in the United States or have a US account, is $9.99. The book has been #1 in multiple countries. It's currently now #1 in Australia in hot new releases. And it's just amazing to see the reviews that we've seen. So I really appreciate your time today, guys. And
Thank you. Thank you,
You
both of you.
guys. It was a blessing.
Yes.